As a parent, there's nothing more heartbreaking than watching your child struggle with a health issue that's chronic, despite you trying every traditional medical approach. And then you go down that rabbit hole of the natural and holistic health remedies. You've been to countless doctors, you've been to the specialists, you've filled the prescriptions, you've even explored the holistic and biomedical therapies. You've done the diet changes, the detoxes, the cleanses, taken the vitamins, all the supplements, you've done the herbs and even the infrared saunas, right? But nothing seems to work. The frustration and helplessness is overwhelming, and it leaves you questioning, is there something that you're missing? Or is this just the way that my child's going to be forever? But what if the real key to unlocking optimal potential with health and the ability to heal naturally is actually doing all of those things that we discussed, but in a different sequence? What if it's as simple as breaking things down to a more specific batting order, right? That aligns with the exact pathways of stress and dysfunction that caused your child to get sick in the very first place. Here's what's absolutely fascinating about the shift that I've seen in healthcare over the last 15 years of my career. In the early stages of my practice, 80% of patients came in already medicated, fully involved in the medical model, prior to learning about neurologically focused chiropractic care. 20% of them were all crunchy, doing the gluten-free, dairy-free, vitamin supplements, drug-free approach, whereas today it's completely flipped. 20% come in medicated, whereas 80% are against the medical routine, they're not taking medications, and they are fully engulfed in everything natural related, all drug-free. But here's what's really concerning, is that chronic disease prevalence has risen nearly 30% in the last 20 years. And on average, new patients today have more illnesses with their health than ever before, which reveals a critical gap that most parents and even healthcare providers are missing entirely. You have to understand first this neurological hierarchy of health and development. See, the nervous system develops first in utero. It acts as the air traffic control for your child's body by coordinating vital systems like gut health, immune function, motor skills, and brain functions. Dr. Bruce Lipton, who is a cellular biologist and researcher, explains that the function of the nervous system is to perceive the environment and coordinate the behavior of all other cells, which is why the neural tube is one of the very first things to develop during pregnancy. When the nervous system gets derailed and off track developmentally due to early life stressors, everything downstream gets thrown off as well. I want to walk you through this neurological hierarchy chart. All right, so this chart right here shows the hierarchy of neurological development. Now, the autonomic nervous system is the foundation of the neurological development, meaning the autonomic nervous system is the first system to develop in utero. Now, with this, on top of that is the neuromotor system, how the muscles interact with the nervous system. Then on top is the gut and immune system, and at the very top are brain-based factors. So here's what happens. Let's say that you start PT/OT speech therapy. You're at this second transitional segment. Let's say then you all of a sudden go towards the supplements, the nutrition, the gut protocols. Now you're here at gut and immune. Let's say that you start very first with brain-based, right? You're at the brain balance center. You're focusing on cognitive focuses, lasers, all these optimal things. Here's the missing piece, is that the foundation first has to be laid. Meaning that if the autonomic nervous system is never balanced and it's never identified with where the stress patterns reside, you will be unstable moving things above this. And this is the biggest issue that I see with the medical and or biomedical holistic integrations, is that they do not start with the autonomic nervous system first. And in fact, neurologically focused chiropractic care is the only profession that works only with the autonomic nervous system. So the biggest part is that if you start with therapies at the neuromotor system, or you start with supplements and diet and cleanses, and you're doing it out of sequence or order, the foundation is unstable, which means that you do not retain any of the momentum that's built. And this is why you'll see you start with PT or OT. Your child does great at first, but then they regress. You'll start with supplementation, nutrition, but then as soon as it's off track, the child goes right back to their normal self. This helps to understand that in order to build in that hierarchy, you have to first lay a healthy and stable foundation. Once that foundation is created, you maintain it, and then from there you build in integrative therapies. Then you build in nutrition and supplementation. Then you build in brain-based focuses that are integrative for the help of your child. If this is done properly, your child will gain momentum as they continue this sequence, which means you start with neurologically focused chiropractic care. You create a healthy foundation. Then you transition to a wellness-based approach with this neurologically focused chiropractic care. Once everything's stable and you are continuing with that approach, then you add in therapies. You do therapies, chiropractic. Then you add in nutrition and supplementation. So now you're doing supplementation, nutrition, therapies, and chiropractic. Then you integrate the brain-based therapies. And if all four are being done in the right order, the child can developmentally create momentum to where things now start to stick. Now there's 3 sequential steps for optimal neurodevelopment. Step 1 is the nervous system foundation. Without proper nervous system regulation and function being activated and optimized first, everything else is limited in what it can do, and the results will be limited in what you can expect. Step 2 is the motor system. Movement is truly life, and every childhood development expert knows that motor development is the key to brain and nervous system development overall. But muscles, they don't move themselves. The nervous system must function properly first for motor coordination to develop properly. The third step is gut and immune health, which I believe is absolutely essential. However, it's controlled first and foremost by the nervous system through the vagus nerve and brain-gut connection, which means brain to gut connection comes before gut to brain connection. Now, there is a batting order or a sequence of healing that really matters most. It's one of the most important steps. Each individual form of natural, holistic, or integrative care is absolutely amazing and does its job. But when we address the nervous system dysfunction first, we unlock something within your child's brain and body that makes every single therapy work better each and every time. This is why so many parents report that their child finally started seeing massive gains, whether it's PT, OT, or speech therapy, once they started getting adjusted. Because we're addressing the foundation neurological dysfunction that was limiting all the other therapies from achieving optimal results. Reopening neurosensory pathways that were once closed due to subluxation and stress in the nervous system now are opened through this neurologically focused care. And it allows proper development to be achieved throughout time. Think of it as like trying to restore and rebuild a home that sits on a cracked, crooked, or abnormal foundation. No general contractor would spend thousands of dollars remodeling this house without first preparing and restoring that foundation until it's stable and solid. Your body's the exact same way. If you feel like your child is stuck and you've tried every single route of healing, from the traditional medical route to the holistic alternatives, or maybe you've been hitting a plateau with other therapies and nothing really seems to stick or work for long terms of time, it's time to start addressing first how the foundation of your child's body is present and how it's healing through the nervous system. Now, to learn more about the nervous system and its critical role in our child's health and development, take a look and click on Neurologically Focused Care on the link below to learn more about how we can help to serve you and your family's health improvement journey.